Authorities search for the New York City shooting suspect.
And scientists look at corn as an alternative gas solution.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Jalen Jackson.
And I'm Andrea Valdez. A New York City subway shooting Tuesday morning has left multiple people injured and hospitalized. Authorities are searching for the suspect in question. CNN's Jason Carroll has the details.
A chaotic scene in Brooklyn on a Manhattan-bound N train.
As soon as the doors opened, I saw that the smoke just come in, and then everybody just rushing off the train. Some people stumbling, leaking blood on the floor. This is probably the scariest thing I've witnessed.
Subway riders rushed from the smoke-filled train after police say a shooter deployed 2 smoke canisters and fired 33 shots. Now, investigators are trying to track down 62-year-old Frank James. Investigators believe he rented a U-Haul truck in Philadelphia. It was found parked in Brooklyn. Police say the shooter was wearing an orange and green construction vest, gray hoodie, and neon green construction hat, and was seated in the second car in the rear corner.
Witnesses state the male opened up 2 smoke grenades, tossed them on the subway floor, brandishes a Glock 9mm handgun. He then fired that weapon at least 33 times, striking 10 people.
Investigators say some of the items recovered shows the shooter's intent on committing violence.
This was a senseless act of violence that was inflicted on our passengers in our subway system, and details are still unfolding, and we're going to release the details as they come forward.
Evidence recovered at the scene by police includes 15 bullets, 2 detonated smoke grenades, 2 non-detonated smoke grenades, a hatchet, gasoline, and a U-Haul key. Police say the U-Haul appears to have been rented by Frank James, who has addresses in Wisconsin and Philadelphia. Investigators are also looking at social media posts linked to James, which reportedly include complaints about New York, homelessness, and the city's mayor, Eric Adams.
We're not calling them threats. He made some concerning posts, or someone made some concerning posts. We cannot attribute it to that individual yet. That's under investigation. But again, in an abundance of caution, we're going to tighten the mayor's security detail. That's all.
The mass shooting shaking New Yorkers already reeling from an increase in violent crime throughout the city.
In my heart, this is a terrorizing action to put fear in the hearts of New Yorkers, but they don't know who they're messing with. They do not know that we will not bow down to an individual with a depraved heart who tries to strike terror in our hearts. It wasn't successful. New Yorkers are back at it. They're back on the subways. They're back in our restaurants. They're back being normal once again.
Authorities are naming James as the suspect of the shooting. A $50,000 reward has been offered for information that can lead to his arrest.
2 tornadoes touched down in central Texas on Monday. The tornadoes wreaked havoc in Bell County, Texas, injuring 23 people, 12 of whom were hospitalized. First responders were involved amid multiple reports of downed trees and damaged homes. The bad weather is expected to continue in parts of central U.S. with more tornadoes and thunderstorms on the way. The severe storms in Bell County also saw near record-sized hail. The largest piece of hail ever found in Texas came in at 6.4 inches across. The biggest hail found from Monday's storm was 5.5 inches.
You know, when I stepped outside today, it was really warm, and I wonder if it will be like that the rest of the day.
I don't know, but the Texas sun can get hot quick. Let's see what our weather anchor Ryan Cantrell can tell us. What does the rest of the day look like, Ryan?
Well, thankfully, we do not have any severe storm nor tornado threat in central North Texas, unlike yesterday, but there is still a threat in the south. However, I will get to that later in my full weather forecast. But currently here in Denton, clear skies, 73-degree actual temperature with northwest winds at 22 miles per hour. On to tonight, we'll see those clear skies remain, and temperatures will dip to 58 degrees, and those winds will go down to northeast at 9 miles per hour. Now on to tomorrow. Yet again, look at those clear skies. We have temperature right at 65, and those winds pick up to the southeast at 10 miles per hour. Now stick with us as I talk about the South's current threat of storms and my full weather forecast coming up. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. If you're planning to get out and get some fresh air this month, we have some good news for you. On Saturday, all national parks are waiving entrance fees in honor of National Park Week. The National Park Foundation says that the week gives people a chance to discover the great outdoors. Now, if you can't make it out this weekend, there are other National Park Days later this year on August 4th, September 24th, and on November 11th.
Hollywood has lost one of its most iconic voices. Actor and comedian Gilbert Gottfried has passed away at the age of 67. Gottfried died of myotonic dystrophy, a rare genetic muscle disorder with no cure. His family says he had been dealing with the illness for a long time. Gottfried found success in the 1990s with his brash stand-up comedy and performance as Iago in Disney classic Aladdin. He's survived by his wife and 2 kids.
When we come back, a federal judge makes a ruling about UNT tuition.
And the United States plans to send millions in aid to Ukraine.
Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
A federal judge has ruled that UNT cannot charge out-of-state students higher tuition than undocumented Texans who qualify for lower state tuition. UNT lawyers appealed last week's decision, and if upheld, the decision could affect other Texas public universities. The ruling centers on Texas 2001 law, which allows undocumented students who have lived in Texas for 3 years and graduate from a Texas high school to pay in-state tuition. Sains with Maldiv said that Texas lawmakers could change the law to eliminate the 3-year residency requirement and provide in-state tuition to any Texas resident who graduated from a Texas high school.
You know, speaking of UNT, I heard we're having an art show with the Twist this month.
Yes, the union is showcasing art pieces from the LGBTQ+ students at the university. Our live reporter, Courtney Hill, has more on this exhibit. Courtney?
Thank you, Andre and Jalen. The UNT's Pride Alliance presents the first art show exclusively focused on the LGBTQ+ community. The purpose of this show is to highlight the life and the queer trans students and give them a voice. Here at the UNT Union until April 15th, come and experience the Queer and Trans Art Show. Back to you all in the studio.
Thanks, Courtney. Canadians are preparing for a blizzard predicted this weekend. All Winnipeg schools announced their school bus cancellations for Wednesday and Thursday in preparation of the icy roads and poor weather. CBC's Karen Paul has more.
This is the Trans-Canada Highway between Winnipeg and the Saskatchewan border, and these are the barricades that will be closed when the storm hits. Environment Canada says southern Manitoba should expect freezing rain, up to 50 centimeters of snow, and high winds that will cause deep drifts.
Climate change is certainly a factor. You can't point to one storm, one event, one period of time, like one season, and say, this is directly related to climate change. But of course, it is a factor.
People are already stocking up on food, batteries, and whatever supplies they'll need for a couple of days.
It was really busy. I was in line for quite a while, and it just felt panic buying. I just felt, and there's lots of stuff they're out of.
Manitoba Hydro is already preparing for power outages across the province, from Saskatchewan all the way to the Ontario border. The province says people should stay off the roads once they're closed.
There's going to be semi-trucks that are needing to go. It's just keeping our highways safe and letting those semi-trucks go, because they're an essential service when it comes to supplying goods and services.
One consolation, the province isn't expecting major flooding. With temperatures below freezing, the swollen rivers will have a few more days to subside before all the new snow starts to melt. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Brandon, Manitoba.
The snowstorm is expected to hit next Tuesday and will last for 3 days. A decision to cancel classes for students has not been made.
Well, at least we're safe from any blizzards here with this weather, but I hope that our forecast stays clear.
Me too. Let's see what the weather looks like for the rest of the week. Ryan?
Well, thankfully, we are not in blizzard threat. However, warm temperatures mean the rise of severe thunderstorms in Texas. And while North Texas right now is clear, that's not the case for East. However, I'll talk about that in just a sec. But currently, we have the apogee camera up. Mostly clear days. We see some clouds right there in the east. But other than that, clear skies, breezy day. On top of that, we can see the windmills blowing in the wind. Now, let's talk about our radar. We have a frame from within the last hour. Most of the storms are in the East Texas, Louisiana area, and south of Arkansas. We have about 100 miles right here of torrential rain. Most of the threat remains to be hail. However, there is some, here we go, there is some rotation right here indicating possible tornadoes. So if you are in this area, the best thing you can do is to please keep up to date with your local news and weather departments. Now, let's forget about the radar, and let's talk about beautiful temperatures like we're experiencing here in North Texas and the state of Texas. Mostly in those mid-70s, we have one in 80. There it is. We have Dallas at 80 degrees, Fort Worth at 77, Decatur is at 71, Bowie's out there at 67, and Stephenville is at 77 as well. Now across the state, we're not going to see much of a difference. Maybe warmer down south and colder up north. But yeah, we have Austin at 83, Houston at 80, Shreveport at 77, and finally Oklahoma City at a chilly 57 degrees. Now here's our 7-day forecast, y'all. Uneventful next few days. Wednesday and Thursday will be clear with highs in the upper 70s, with Wednesday's high being 77 degrees. And clouds don't start to roll in until Friday. We'll see some partly cloudy skies. And then Saturday, we'll have mostly cloudy skies, maybe a T-storm or two with that 20% chance of rain. Sunday, we'll see partly cloudy skies, maybe another T-storm or two with that 20% chance of rain. And then Monday onward, it's going to be pretty uneventful, clear, and warm for the rest of the week. Now, that's all I have for my full weather forecast. I'm going to toss it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. For the first time since Russia began their invasion of Ukraine, President Biden has called the situation a genocide. In the past, Biden and his administration have accused Putin of war crimes, but have stopped short of calling the attack a genocide. He made his remarks while discussing high gas prices.
Your family budget, your ability to fill up your tank, none of it should hinge on whether a dictator declares war and commits genocide half a world away. To help deal with this Putin price hike, I've authorized the release of 1 million barrels per day for the next 6 months from our Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Called Biden's comment unacceptable. Ukrainian President Zelensky called Biden's words, quote, true words of a true leader. Biden is also expected to speak today announcing assistance in the form of military aid totaling around $700 million. To fast-track the help, Biden will reportedly use drawdown authority, which gives the president the right to authorize an immediate transfer without approval from Congress. The White House has provided nearly $3 billion to Ukraine since the start of Biden's presidency.
Gas prices are still at an all-time high. A possible solution to combat this issue? Running your car on corn, or at least that's what the White House is recommending, allowing more ethanol in gas this summer. CNN's Amy Kiley lays out the pros and cons of what is called E15 gas.
Cutting oil imports from Russia.
Amid efforts to reduce dependence on Russian oil come efforts to reduce U.S. gas prices. The latest White House idea involves an emergency waiver from the Environmental Protection Agency. It allows year-round sales of 15% ethanol blend gasoline.
Even though E15 is only available in a few thousand pumps today, we're investing more than $100 million to build biofuel infrastructure of the future. Things like blender pumps.
Ethanol comes from plants like corn, so its biggest advantage is price. Experts say E15 gas could be up to 10 cents a gallon cheaper than regular fuel right now. But the EPA has a reason for capping ethanol content at 10% during the summer. It creates more smog than normal gas because it evaporates faster and reacts with sunlight. Summer weather can make that worse. Ozone smog isn't just an environmental problem, it's also a health concern. It can cause breathing issues for groups such as seniors, people with respiratory issues, and outdoor workers. Some Republicans say broader action is needed to really lower gas prices.
We can be energy independent again. The administration needs to take the shackles off of domestic production.
One of the advantages of being vice president is I get to drive my own car again. One of the disadvantages is I get to pay for my own gas.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Consumer Price Index increased by 8.5%, a 40-year high.
The future may be coming sooner than we expected. While it may just become the thing of the past, but in more extreme terms. The British Polish company Walletmore is selling microchips as alternate payment options. The chip is about the size of a grain of rice and costs about $300. The twist? The chip is implanted in your body, preferably your hand. Once you activate it using a digital wallet app, Walletmore says that you will be able to make purchases at most businesses around the world, just as if the chip was in a card tap. Right now, the chips are only being sold to citizens of the UK, Switzerland, and countries in the European region. According to Walletmore, almost 200 people have already tried the implants. 2 mammoth tusks were stolen from a Seattle gallery. Stay tuned to find out more.
And an NFL team is under investigation for questionable practices.
Than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle, ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Blue Light Special is nearing its end. A Kmart store in New Jersey is scheduled to close permanently this Saturday, leaving only 3 stores in existence. The stores are in New Jersey, Miami, and New York. Kmart's had nearly 2,000 stores in the U.S. However, it had fallen victim to stores like Walmart, Target, and Amazon. Sears Holdings, which owned Kmart, has shut down more than 3,500 Sears and Kmart locations over the past decade.
A Seattle gallery has had at least 2 ancient artifacts go missing in the past 9 months. The artifacts in question, mammoth tusks. Sebastian Robertson has the story.
Hidden in an Eastlake office complex.
The present is the key to the past.
Is a small glimpse into the history of our world.
So fossils give us this sort of insight into what was going on. And in this case, 8,000 to 9,000 years ago, they need a quiet environment to be fossilized in.
The hallways and lobbies of John Pohl's aptly named Tusk building serve as a display for his collection of prehistoric artifacts. His crown jewel, this chunk of woolly mammoth tusk, a piece that was stolen in July of last year. Surveillance video captures what he believes is the burglars walking out.
It's not the break-in or the smashing of the glass or the damage to the building. It's taking something that's pretty much irreplaceable.
Pohl filed a report with Seattle police last summer and reached out to King 5 after seeing this video air last week. It's shot from a downtown Seattle gallery. Watch as this man takes off with a fossilized mammoth tusk worth $19,000.
I feel violated. I've barely recovered from the last incident.
Both crimes are unsolved, and in both cases, an irreparable part of history has vanished.
This is heartbreaking. It's not like, somebody else can go out and create another one. These animals are extinct.
No arrests have been made in either case. However, the FBI does investigations for art and cultural property crimes, but won't confirm if they are investigating.
The FDA and DEA have uncovered 2 websites illegally selling drugs without prescriptions. The 2 sites, cubafarm.com and premiumlightsupplier.com, have been providing drugs labeled as Adderall. Adderall is used to treat ADHD, but comes with a high risk of abuse or addictions. Officials say getting meds without a prescription is a dangerous practice as the drugs could be counterfeit, contaminated, or expired. The FDA says if you purchase anything from either site, throw it away.
An NFL team is under fire as Congress has asked the Federal Trade Commission to investigate. Reports of information and documents that were found show that a possible pattern of, quote, concerning business practices within the Washington Commanders organization. The committee is asking the FTC to review the evidence from the investigation into the Commanders' workplace culture. Additionally, the team's owner, Daniel Schneider, may have part in, quote, unlawful financial conduct, end quote. The Washington Commanders spokesperson said that the team denies the allegations and will continue to cooperate with the investigation. Jalen, did you catch the UNT softball game this weekend?
No, I didn't, but I know who has all the details about it. Our sports anchor, Amanda Malini, can give us all the details. Amanda?
Thanks, guys. The Mean Greens have axed the Lady Jacks, and baseball has returned to Texas. Find out more after the break.
Man, I have all these non-perishable food items, and I don't know what to do with them.
I don't have any food at all.
Do you have too many non-perishable goods?
Yeah.
Have you run out of food and can't get any more?
Yeah.
Well, don't have a cow. Head on down to the UNT Food Pantry. Located behind Crumley Hall and Diamond Eagle Student Resource Center, the Food Pantry is the place for UNT students to get all the food they need. You'll be utterly surprised by all the options they have there. From gluten-free to lactose intolerant, even vegan and vegetarian, they have it all. Go to studentaffairs.unt.edu/foodpantry for more information.
Move on down to the UNT Food Pantry.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep?
Yeah, go to bed.
Stephen F. Austin got steamrolled by the Mean Green softball team last night with a final score of 6-1 in this non-conference matchup. After nearly an hour-long weather delay, play resumed around 7:15. The Mean Green were led by Celine Donahoe, who had a perfect day at the plate, going 3 for 3 with her second home run of the season. Junior Ashley Peters picked up the win, throwing 5 innings, and freshman Skylar Savage notched her 4th save of the season. This puts the Mean Green at 24-8 on the season. The Mean Green softball team will resume conference play this weekend at Lovelace Stadium against Louisiana Tech. The series will begin Thursday to adjust for the Easter holiday. The Texas Rangers lost 4-1 to the Colorado Rockies. Their lone run was scored in the second by offseason acquisition Mitch Garver. Martin Perez made his first start for the Rangers since September 2018. Perez lasted into the 5th before allowing back-to-back hits to end his night. 3 of the Rockies' 4 runs were scored on Perez, with the last being off of Spencer Patton in the 7th. The 2-game sweep marks the first for the Rangers this year and the first at home. The Rangers have a scheduled off day today and look to welcome the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim tomorrow for a 4-game weekend series. What might appear lackluster on paper, you could not be more wrong about last night's Stars game in the 1-0 victory over the reigning Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning. It started out with a standout performance by the Lightning goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky, but an even better night for Stars backup goaltender Scott Wedgwood, with a big save after big save. Rupe Hintz scored the sole goal in the 3rd period, and that was just enough to edge out the win. This win keeps Dallas within 1 point of the Nashville Predators for the first wildcard spot. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Amanda. When it comes to celebrating my birthday, I always like to do something fun like going to a new restaurant in Dallas or party with my friends and family. Well, listen to how this Wisconsin great-grandmother celebrated her 100th birthday in style. Josh Ryder with WISC has the story.
How you doing today, Grandma? Fidelia Brunig is always on the move. Even her biggest birthday yet,
I'm full 100.
couldn't stop her. Dale, as everyone calls her, turned 100 years young this month, and on that day, she had one wish.
I said I was going to ride the fire truck. You know, I started seeing that a while back already, but now I'm not so sure.
Well, signage and all, her family went all out, with a big red fire truck waiting for her right outside of Maplewood of Sauk Prairie.
I'm fascinated with it, just like my kids. You know, that they belong to these things and members. And
firefighting is in her family's blood. Her son Doug, the former Sauk City fire chief, helping make her dream come true.
They tell me now it's a pretty big step, but then again they said they could just all pick me up and set me there.
All right. Wow, I hope I'll make it to my 100th birthday.
Oh my goodness. Well, will you invite me to your birthday party?
Of course I will.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tomorrow for the latest coverage here at North Texas Television.